In 1922, a group of Danville women gathered to discuss and study Catholic literature to prepare their children for their first communion. The first Mass was celebrated in the living room of Mr. and Mrs. Herschel Wilson. Ironically, their home is now our rectory. In 1938, a small permanent chapel that seated 125 was erected at Mulberry and Blake Streets in Danville. An additional room and bath were added as a rectory in 1946. Currently, the building is being used by the local Girl Scout troop. The Archdiocese of Indianapolis purchased the Allen Campbell property, formerly the Wilson home, for $12,500 after the tornado of 1948. It was restored and dedicated. This building, our second church, seated 110 and housed the office, classrooms, and the rectory. The cornerstone for our third church was laid April 4th, 1954. The building was estimated to cost $53,000 and seated 250. Mary, Queen of Peace, had swelled to 104 households, including 75 children. Our current church was erected in 1990 at the cost of $1,200,000 and seats 400. Our parish today has 426 households, including 220 children.
St. Mary, Queen of Peace has grown over the years and continues to grow. And with growth comes the need for more space and improvement of facilities.
And the parish has grown to be a true church family for me. I especially remember going with my family to the fairgrounds. I remember watching my grandmother and my mother with pies. Pies are still very special to me. At that food tent, everybody from the parish was there. It was a true family gathering over a number of days. And I loved seeing that. It made me feel a part of something special.
Mary Queen of Peace means a ton to me. When I was 14, my dad passed away, and being a part of this church brought me to a whole new place. I felt so at home and I had so much support, so this church means more to me than anything else. The youth group, having a larger facility would mean it would mean a lot. We meet in that little room, and it would be so great if we could have a bigger spot. Not only would having a bigger spot mean more room for the kids already involved, but that would help the youth group grow. We could get the younger kids involved, and we want kids to stay involved even after confirmation, and having a bigger spot to do fundraising and events would be wonderful for that.
I love being in the choir. I love singing even when I was little. I played the piano. I'd like to do that sometime in the church when I'm a little bit older, maybe. If the kids had more space, it would be very nice to get to know every kid.
The biggest one is the flooding problem, and I can't believe that building was built that way originally, but the grade around, especially the south and the west sides, is much higher than the building itself, and water literally leaks through the wall, which are concrete masonry units, by the way. They're very porous and uninsulated. Water literally leaks through the wall, leaks through the door at the south entrance, and I'm sure some people have seen it, because the times that we have heavy rains before Sunday Mass and the RE building's opening, there's literally water in the hallway in some of those classrooms. And so, these are things that myself and Phil Schneider, Matt, and I know many others, especially during the week when we're not here, they're constantly having to vacuum water out of the building. That's the most obvious. And this is water that's literally just coming through the walls.
With my mom, when my dad died when I was 7, she was left with 4 kids and not a job. We were going to St. Malachy School. The sister Amada came over and asked her in the summer if she would run and open up the cafeteria they just built. Offer her $35 a week. She took it. She had 4 of us at home. She didn't have any choice. So I remember walking in the kitchen one day, and Mom was sitting there at the table writing bills out with her checkbook. Had a worried look on her face. And being, 8 years old, I just said, what's wrong? I could sense something was wrong. And she said, well, I just paid used the last of my money for bills. But I looked at the kitchen table, and where the napkin holder was sat her envelope for church. Never without fail. That envelope was always there. So no matter how tight things got, Mom always, gave to the church. So I learned a lot from just seeing that, and that's how I was raised, and I know that God will not let you do without. Stories from my mom used to tell me that when things were needed done at this parish, they just rolled their sleeves up, didn't ask questions, and did it.
Some of the current issues that we're encountering right now would be definitely the fact that we don't have a dedicated room or a dedicated space for a choir to rehearse or for instrumental groups to rehearse. Right now we are using the sanctuary for rehearsal, and it would be nice if we could have a dedicated room, and I think if we have another building, we have more possibilities for that. We also have a problem right now that we don't have a storage room for our music and for instruments and for our choir books. Right now, most of our music is sitting in a couple of filing cabinets in the education wing, way in the back. That's where, some of the water gets in there, and water, of course, is not good for the music, the sheet music that we have spent a lot of money on. So it would be nice to have the music stored properly in the same room that we rehearse. If we have more room, more people are apt to come and be part of it. And I think we have a lot of youth growing right now that are learning instruments. And I think this would be a great opportunity for them to flourish and be part of our church community.
When I think about the New Parish Life Center, I think of all the younger parishioners getting excited about going to church, gathering in a place where they can have fun and meet their friends, and also their parents can gather at the same time. Equal sacrifice to me means that everybody takes a good hard look at all the gifts that they've received, and something that's been especially coming back to me over and over again during this time when I'm thinking about the campaign is from thy bounty. We say that prayer before our meals every time, and do we think what that means? From thy bounty. Everything we have is from God's bounty. You know how much you have, and I think equal sacrifice means taking a look at that bounty that you have and giving what you can towards this capital campaign.
Most important aspects of the campaign will be the total involvement of all the families of the parish, whether they are young, middle-aged, older. It will be important for everybody to be involved because we all make up the parish. The success depends on the Holy Spirit. It depends on parishioner involvement and the commitment of the entire parish to the project.
Mary Queen of Peace has had a positive past. Now it is time for a fantastic future. To accomplish this in the next 3 years, the entire congregation is called to step forward and give of their time, talent, and treasure. Remember, not equal giving, but equal sacrifice. Looking back over the last 80 years, we can see that the people of Mary Queen of Peace have sacrificed. Today, people are continuing to sacrifice for now and future generations.